Again, I thought we really started the game really locked in defensively. I thought we did a really good job. Dealt with their ball screens, took away some scoring opportunities. I thought we really defended as a team really well, with a lot of energy and a lot of focus, because that's the stuff we've been working on. I don't think the offensive side of the ball is going to be an issue for us this year. It's really locking in and getting better defensively, and I thought we did that. You hold a team to 16 points in the first half, and then they come out and score 18 points in the first 4 minutes in that media timeout. It's a little concerning. And again, some of it is other side of the court, away from our bench, where we're not carrying them with our voices. And I thought a little bit front court fatigue, but I also think Albany did a really good job making adjustments, really driving the ball hard to the basket. And we had so many fouls on us again that I think we got a little hesitant. But I really thought what was nice about this game is we responded when they came all the way back and we got down. In our huddles, I would talk a couple of things, and then the voices of the leaders in the group talking about we got to be a family on defense and, be there for each other, and all 5 of us at once. So all that, they're starting to get it, And I think the biggest thing, and I keep saying this, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but when you're bringing in this many new players, every time I look out on the court, we have at least 3 new guys on the court playing, sometimes 4, whether they're freshmen or transfers or whatever it may be. They're new guys that weren't here, or didn't play last year. So it's really trying to develop where we can get to be 1 on that court. We only have, 2 guys out there that maybe even know the vocabulary of what we were doing all last year. So now it's something that we just got to build on. We know it. The kids know it. We have 10 days right now that that's all we're going to do, is focus defensively and tighten up defensively. Because I think if we can tighten up defensively and rebounding, get a little bit more depth in the front court, I think we have a chance to be okay.
I think they went about 5.5 minutes at the end without a basket.
Yeah.
Did you see that coming? You have to be pleased, I would think.
Yeah, well, you know what? We talked about, it was like, hey, now it's time. We do a thing called a defensive challenge every day, and we talked about defensive challenge. Like, this is where we got to step up. Whatever it's the last 5 minutes of this game, we really got to dig in and defend. And we did it in straight man-to-man defense. And I thought our guys made plays. I really did. I thought we contested shots. I thought we closed up driving lanes. I thought we got the big rebounds late when we needed them. Where earlier I think we struggled and gave up some when they missed so many shots. But I thought it was a team defensive stops down the stretch that really helped. So I think that's something for us to build on.
Ovi kind of, after the last 2 games, he kind of took the blame, said he didn't do enough to will the team to win or whatever. Tonight did just about everything. The only negative I think you're going to see is the turnovers. What do you see from him? What changed in him?
Yeah, and I hate when Ovi says that, because I feel bad that he puts all that on himself, because it's not just him. It's a team sport. But I thought he played pretty close to a perfect game. He was all over the place defensively. His turnovers where he was just trying to do a little bit too much at times, but I thought he really played within himself. I thought he played well. He wasn't rushing himself like maybe he did against New Hampshire. I thought he played very well against West Virginia the other night. And, Ovi's a really competitive kid. He works so hard. He worked so hard in the offseason expanding his game, as he did last year when he sat out. And I got to say this about this whole group. This is a great group. As a coach, these guys are in the gym all the time. We don't practice real long. We're in and out. I got to say that because the compliance officer get me in trouble. But no, we do our thing. We practice hard. We do a lot of preparation, a lot of film, and these guys are in the gym all the time. Trayvon, Micah, Damo, Ovi. And when you have a group like that, they're gonna be good. They'll be good players, and we'll be a good team.
Coach, you held 2 halves for Albany. They hit five shots in the first half and 13 turnovers, and then hit 17 of their first 21 shots over the break. What changed on their end?
You know what's funny? They did the same thing against Siena, and they did the same thing against NJIT. They were down in both those games, and I knew it. I knew they were a second-half team. I didn't want to say anything to the team because I didn't want to jinx myself about them coming back, but I've seen that in all their tapes, actually. For some reason, they don't, I think Will could speak to that. But they're a disciplined program, man. I tell you, I think Will does a great job. They defend you. They keep you in front. They did a good job tonight of playing without fouling. And offensively, they're really efficient.
You guys got the city game
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I mean, we won't start talking about Pitt until probably Thanksgiving. We got to worry about ourselves. We got to focus on us getting better, and then we'll go through the normal preparation as we do for every game that we prepare for. You know, we'll talk about personnel as it gets close, and strengths and weaknesses, and I think it's a great, exciting game for the community. I think it's awesome. I think it's a great rivalry game. But when it comes down to it, it's a game. We got to play it with inside the lines. You know, obviously Pitt's won a lot of them, and it's time for us to try to make a change. So we'll start looking at tape, you know, on Saturday or Sunday. We'll start breaking it down. I'm actually going to head out recruiting right now, but, you know, we do approach it the same way we approach everything else.
It's still early, but to have a 10-day break like this, I imagine that's pretty nice.
It's awesome.
Limited depth
It's
row.
awesome. It's almost, what was it? What was it, like Hanukkah? Like 8 days, 8 crazy nights?
Yeah.
We get 10 crazy days of defense. That's what we're going to work on.
Is it nice to have a win before that break?
Turkey tastes a lot better when you have a win on a break. Absolutely. Hey, listen, you know what? We could easily be sitting here and saying we're 3-1 and everything's fine. Well, everything's not fine. We have a long way to go. We got to get a lot better. If anything, that UNH loss gave us more of a sense of urgency to get better. Because if we would have won that game, let's say whatever, like we make the layup at the buzzer, we didn't play well. We could have walked out of there saying, all right, we're 3-1, we're okay. We're not. And it's early in the season. I didn't expect to be. This is kind of where I expected to be right now. And I think by that loss, there's a sense of urgency in our locker room to listen, to learn, to change, to get better. And that's what we have to work on. I have no complaint about the team unity. I think the team's really come together. They're unselfish. And they're talking about a locker room right now. Big 10 days for us to get better. So hopefully we can improve during that stretch.
Do you leave today feeling you're heading in the right direction?
Yeah, I think so. I thought leaving the West Virginia game, I also felt we made strides and we're starting to head in the right direction. When you have this many new guys, it takes some time, you know. It's the Atlantic 10. We have to worry about getting ready for the Atlantic 10. And that's what all these games are. That's why we play a team like West Virginia on the road and Pitt, high-level programs. We got Penn State coming in, Robert Morton. We play some pretty tough teams, you know, and that's to prepare us for the Atlantic 10 and to build our program that we want to build it.
What led you to flip White and Mason in the lineup?
You know what? It was more Micah playing really well defensively than anybody else not. And it was the same position. And, again, like I talk about the team unity, I brought Trey in and told him. He was like, yeah, all right, no problem, fine. And he was cheering for Micah, and Micah's cheering for him. And I think you'll see some of that throughout the year, too. I just think it's something that we're such a new team. We have all these different pieces. You know, we'd be changing around a lot more if we didn't have injuries earlier. You know what I mean? So we're still trying to figure ourselves out a little bit.
And then with Micah getting in foul trouble, to have Trayvon come in and three-point plays.
It's huge. You know, Micah actually hurt his hand in the first half as well. And I asked him at the start of the second half, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "I don't know. I'll try." And then he hit that three, and I'm like, yeah, I guess he's okay. And then he fouled, but then Trey came in and stepped up. And I think that's what we thought we were going to have early this year. Once we had our full team, the depth that it wasn't going to matter if someone had a bad night. We have the ability to next man up mentality. I think our injuries and eligibility stuff has held back our depth, but if we can keep building that, I think that's the ability that we're going to be able to have. Somebody can have a bad night. DC had a bad first half. I thought DC played great in the second half.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great Thanksgiving. I'll talk to everybody.